Hey Cancer, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings. Take what works, leave what doesn't. If I don't catch your wavelength or storyline here, go check your other major placements. And this week we're not doing extendeds. We're just doing this. So I've already shuffled. I'm cutting the deck. Overall for the reading from the bottom of the deck, 10 of Swords, end of a painful situation. It's as painful as it gets. We're done. It's over. What's been said, what needed to be said was said. Yeah, we've run out of pain in this situation, so we're just gonna have to. It just ends. It ends, and it's time to move on. It's your past, your present, your inner landscape, what's that issue, environment, to-do list, possible outcome. It's a great card. 10 of Swords is a great card if you've been in any kind of painful situation. And it is about more of a situation than like a whole lifestyle or a whole thing. But any kind of situation that's been difficult and painful, this is your signifier that it's done, it's over. Maybe we have to clean out some wounds a little bit, but overall, most of the pain is we're through the worst of it, and it gets better from here. So, in your recent past, Empress, so this is about, self-sufficiency, being empowered, making use of everything you have, feeling abundant, feeling like you have what you need, feeling powerful. She's a gorgeous Empress, but this Empress comes from, I mean, there's a lot of pain in her past. Like it reminds me, this Empress for some reason reminds me of the stories of Kuan Yin and how she came to be, I think, the Bodhisattva of compassion, or the goddess of compassion. Like she, there's a lot of pain in the past, but we've definitely come out of it a much stronger, feeling better about yourself, feeling better about your ability to handle the future, handle what's coming. So you've had a sense of empowerment. You know what this feels like. It feels good. A sense of empowerment and a sense of strength, and a feeling of being able to handle life. So you've handled some things. You've handled some pain here. In your current situation, we have 9 of Swords. So this is going to be about... it's the Nightmare card. It's a lot of thoughts that are very painful. Of course, your mind is meant to be, your mind could be a sanctuary. You're in charge of your thoughts ultimately, even though it's hard to feel that way and see that way at times. But currently you're experiencing quite a bit of anxiety. So you came from this place of feeling abundant, feeling capable and accomplished, and then now there's a bunch of anxiety. Now your fears. Maybe you're feeling like imposter syndrome, like, okay, I'm doing really well here. What's the catch? And you're feeling like, oh, something's got to be wrong. These are some uncontrolled thoughts. I mean, they seem very controlled. They should be kind of controlled, but your own thoughts have kind of turned against you in your own mind. It's your mind, and yet somehow these thoughts are like, painful. So we have the 9 of Swords, and this is all about getting to the 10 of Swords, this place where the pain subsides. Okie doke. All right, there's a lot of swords here, a lot of painful truths, and maybe even rationality. So 9 of Swords could be like rationality also gone wrong, like overthinking something to a point where you've worked yourself up to a state of fear. There could just be a lot of anxiety, and your thoughts aren't on your side right now. And it seems like you're in control of them, but you really aren't. There might be something you're remembering, something you're thinking about, something from the past that's catching your attention and creating this space of anxiety. You're physically safe. You're physically in a sanctuary. You're not experiencing it anymore, but you could be having some PTSD issues, anxiety issues, overthinking. That's our 9 of Swords. Then in your inner landscape, we have strength. Trying to find the inner strength to endure something, to stick with something, to stay with it. It's a sense of needing to fight yourself. Yeah, I mean, with this Nine of Swords here, you're definitely in an inner battle. You have an inner battle going on. You're fighting your own inner demons. It's taking a lot of strength and a lot of power to be able to do this. Fighting inner demons is very difficult. I almost like when my inner demons, when someone like actually tells me something like, oh, you can't do that. Why could you're not capable. And then I'm like, oh, thank God it's out in the open now. Now I can argue with it, because as long as that thought's just in my head, it's harder to debate. But when someone actually comes out and says it, well, now I can stand up for myself and I can debate you, but debating myself seems a little bit difficult. So that's a bit, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the difficulty of debating yourself, of fighting with yourself, this inner fight, and it's taking a lot of strength for you to not give into this. You're fighting it. You're fighting this, mental state or these thoughts, and I'm proud of you. It's a fight no one's seeing, and so you're doing a good job. It's hard. It's difficult to fight this sort of mental state, whether it be anxiety or PTSD or anything else that you're struggling with. This is a mental health struggle here. It may not feel like it. Sometimes they don't feel like it. But you're definitely having a fight with yourself, and it's very internal. What's at issue here is Two of Swords in reverse, coming out of denial of something. That can be hard, right? If we've refused to see something, we didn't have the strength before to see it. We didn't have, denial is very important. It protects us. It protects us from things that we're not yet ready to see or deal with, and we don't have the skill set to deal with it yet. But as we grow and get that skill set, some things that we may have been in denial about in the past start to emerge, start to come through, and become clearer and more obvious. So this is about that, that struggle for clarity, that struggle for seeing the truth. And then some sort of truth is coming out here that's been denied. The two parts of your brain, the part that saw it and the part that didn't want to see it, they're actually starting to work together here, and it's creating some anxiety, some fears, and it's taking a lot of inner strength to deal with the situation. Okay, but this is all in service of ending a difficult situation, okay? So in your environment, we have the Hanged Man. We have something on timeout, something on pause. Something frozen in time in a way. It's like the crime has been committed, but the punishment is postponed. But usually the Hanged Man, I mean, he's receiving his punishment right now and cannot continue committing the crime or doing whatever was being done because they're on a timeout. They're going to get free of the situation, but for now, it's the Hanged Man. I usually see it as a big pause, a big freeze frame kind of situation, and then we go, and then it's like thinking about what's happened. So someone may have done something and they're thinking about it. They're thinking about what happened. They're thinking about, this isn't your environment. So there's some sort of situation that's been paused. And there's some sort of situation where there's consequences being dealt with, and that's why it's paused. That's why you're not experiencing it right now. Like the Hanged Man, he's supposed to be really thinking, like understanding, and his eyes are being open to seeing things. But also there's also a sense of, I can't wait till this is over so I can just get back to what I was normally doing, what I always do. They're supposed to be learning a lesson, but right here I just am not seeing that or feeling that right now, which is really interesting because I've never had that experience with a Hanged Man, of someone who's just thinking about how to get out of the situation and not how to make repairs. They're just thinking about how to be better at, I just don't see that their third eye is supposed to be opening up, but all I see is a black hole here. They're supposed to be seeing something and coming to some sort of realization, but I don't see that happening. They're just waiting till they're out of jail to just go back to the life they've always had. So something's on pause, but I just don't see a repair being made or realizations happening in that. Your to-do list, it doesn't look that great either. 3 of Swords. This always reminds me of a family fight where everybody was drinking and then someone ends up stabbing their brother. Like, 3 of Swords, this is communicating what you need to communicate, and it might break hearts. You might hurt some people, but there's a sense of needing to either deal with a heartbreak in the past that has you having a lot of anxiety, and you're starting to realize what exactly went down here, and that maybe this person doesn't have your best interests at heart, and sort of coming to terms with that. And there could be a communication, because it's Swords. It's really seeing something for the truth that it is. And we already have you coming out of denial about something. Seeing something for the truth that it is, and being able to withstand that brutal honesty I feel like that you're almost having with yourself right now. That brutal honesty, and I don't think all honesty is brutal, it shouldn't be, but this is kind of a gruesome scene. So dealing with brutal honesty, or bringing your honesty into a situation. And yeah, they're not going to like it, but you have to speak your truth. You have to say what you saw or what happened. And you're really having an inner battle about it. But you have to either speak up and say your truth no matter who gets hurt by it. You don't need to say it in the most hurtful way possible. You can try to say it in a nicer way. But you know that this truth, no matter what it is, no matter how it's spoken, could really hurt someone's feelings. And this is like having the willingness to do that, because we're trying to end a painful situation. We're trying to wrap this up. That's what the overall is, wrapping up a painful situation. This is almost like the truth needs to be spoken. And it's not going to be easy. And it's either you realizing a truth and understanding finally this truth that you may have been avoiding, may have been creating anxiety for you, but you may have been anxious about, like, I can tell when people are lying to me, but because I feel very anxious around them and I feel a lot of anxiety, maybe I'll get a stomach ache or something, but I don't know why. And that's what creates the anxiety. Is I know something's wrong, but I don't know why they're lying to me. Are they lying to me because they're insecure about something I don't care about? Are they lying to me because they're trying to hide something I would care about? Like, I don't know why. So it creates a lot of anxiety. So that could be a little bit of what you're realizing, why something always creates anxiety for you. And you may need to speak up about it, because the Swords are about communication. They are about truth. And they are about, rationality too. So there might be something of like having to really think through a situation and endure some sort of, I don't know, you're either coming to terms with some sort of truth that you've known all along, or you are revealing a truth that you know is going to hurt somebody else. But it still has to be done because it's part of the whole healing process. That has to come out, right? The Truth and Reconciliation Commission from South Africa. And I think some other countries have done this too. It's painful, but it actually is in service of an overall healing and an overall wrapping up of a painful chapter in a country's history, and it may be your history too. So then we have possible outcome, Ace of Pentacles. A new life, a new opportunity, fresh, a seed planted, a new reality. This isn't a major arcana, right? There's a new cycle, a new job maybe comes out of this situation when you finally like sort of face some sort of truth, either about yourself or about someone else, or you say how you feel about something. A new job may emerge from that, or a new opportunity. Something changes in your reality, though, and it's positive, and it creates sort of a fresh new start in reality for you. Right? I love it, because we have this 10 of Swords, and this is all about swords, some sort of painful communication, painful truths, painful communication. We've got 4 swords in this reading. That's a lot. That's a lot of swords, and that really talks about communication. And somehow communicating and working through, maybe even having some sort of conversation with somebody, it helps end this painful cycle, and something really beautiful starts. So you can look forward to something, a new opportunity, a new part of your reality, a new part of your life coming into fruition here. But first, a lot of tough conversations and difficult issues. So strength and love to you, dear Cancer, as you go through this. Thank you so much for your likes, subscribes, and comments. I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.